The singer was subsequently arraigned in court on Monday. The force public relations officer, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, had said the controversial singer would face more than 6 charges in court. It was gathered that Portable was granted bail in the sum of 300,000 naira to provide 2 sureties with landed properties within the court vicinity. The charges against Portable read that you, Badmus Abibat Okikiola, Mr. M. Oh wow, I guess there's something with the name here. Abibat, really? Okay. M. aka Portable, and others now at large on the 28th day of March 2023 at 11 a.m. at Odoguba Okeosa, Ilogbo, E4, in the E4 Magisterial District, did willfully cause or inflict physical injury on one Inspector Ahmed Moshood with your elbow on his nose and caused blood to gush out from his nose and thereby committed an offense contrary to and punishable under Section 4, Sub 1 of the Violence Against Persons and Prohibition Laws of Ogun State 2017. And so on and so forth. So you had it there. Portable. All right, so I'll ask your thoughts on this matter in a moment. I told you that we'll be talking sports on the program today. Let me first of all introduce Goke. Goke, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Michael. Good afternoon, all of our listeners, and of course, the people here in the studio.
All right, so
nice to be here.
so there's a story about River State where we're told that the APC and PDP supporters are clashing. Are clashed, as at the time I was watching the story. I'll read that story also and then ask you to join the conversation, and then we'll bring our mystery guest to the microphone. Why do I keep referring to him as mystery guest? All right. This one says, one injured as PDP APC supporters clash in Rivers. One person sustained a gunshot injury after being hit by a stray bullet when supporters of the People's Democratic Party and the All Progressives Congress clashed in Port Harcourt on Monday. Earlier, some members of the PDP protested in front of the office of the Independent National Electoral Commission along Aba Road in Port Harcourt. The protesters demanded a joint inspection of election materials by all political parties. The APC, led by its governorship candidate Tonya Cole, had last Friday said it would storm the INEC office on Monday to demand the release of certified true copies of documents used for the March 18 governorship election to enable the party file processes at the Election Petition Tribunal. Okay, so the Punch reporter who was at the scene reports that while the PDP protest festered, Cole, in company of the APC, State APC Chairman Emeka Beke, and other party leaders showed up at the GRA area of Aba Road and was proceeding to the INEC office when the protesters sighted him. The protesters raised in his direction, pelted stones and water sachets at him. And then, boom, and that was it. Okay, I'll ask Goke to comment on this after I've introduced Femi Akiosho. Mr. Osho, welcome.
Good afternoon, Michael. Good afternoon to our wonderful listener. It's good to be here. Debut on Points. I've always, I feel like I've just checked, a bucket list. Because I've always been listening to Talking Points even before I joined Splash, and even after I joined Splash, I continue to be an ardent follower of Talking Points.
Where's our bell? Where's our bell? Oh, shh. All right, Ali, can you fetch us the bell, please?
Thank you.
We need to ring the bell. All right, yeah.
So finally being on Talking Points this afternoon, honestly, is it's unquantifiable. I mean, it's just amazing to be here this afternoon.
We'll come to you in a moment. I know your area of specialization, and I'm going to commit you to something this afternoon. Okay, just hold on. So, Goke, so the APC and PDP supporters or members clashing in Port Harcourt. According to the Punch, I just find it fascinating. Why are they clashing? It says that they are looking to inspect, to get INEC to allow them to inspect materials. They said the protesters demanded a joint inspection of election materials by all political parties. Should this actually cause any crisis?
You see, I think a lot of us need to calm down, sit down, and do a kind of reorientation, especially as it concerns the process, in the political space that we have. People should understand the fact that there are procedures to certain things. For example, you cannot just be a protester and then say INEC should grant you the permission, or to just grant you whatever thing you want to do there, to go and check, the election materials. And again, one particular event happened some weeks ago that actually, reshaped my whole understanding of political violence, especially as it concerns people fighting for their, quote and unquote political principle. And that event happened during the Splash FM debate.
Okay.
While the gubernatorial candidates of the 5 political parties that were invited were on stage, that particular day, we saw a kind of friction from the APC and the PDP. The way they were, throwing the banters, and not only the banters, shouting at each other. I was surprised that Senator Teslim Folarin, was standing, didn't say anything. Governor Sheyi Makinde, who was the sitting governor, stood there, didn't say anything. And these people were ready to enjoy each other inside the same hall. Why their principal, they were just calm on the stage. And that is just to tell a lot of us, that is just to tell a lot of people that you want to stick out your neck, because of a particular political principle, to say anything that happened to you will just happen to you. Nothing are you likely going to get from these people. So it is understandable that, you have the passion for your political party. It is understandable that you might want to feel like you've been cheated, or your mandate have been stolen. That's the new word, the mandate.
Stolen mandate.
Stolen mandate. But we should understand the fact that we should not resort to violence. Okay. Because as it is now, no matter what has happened, if some people have been injured, it won't change the fact that there's a particular, court case that is pending. And it will not change the fact that the certificates of office have been issued to someone else. So it is very, very important that political party supporters must understand the fact that your principals are friends. Forget it. Who would think that in some quarters, one would say a Governor Wike would work against the PDP in the presidential election, although it is not established.
Okay.
But of course, from the body tone of the governor himself. And then you would think you just want to fight for them. And you think you're rallying around just because they will be proud of you. No. People must learn, after this election, that if you are affected by political violence, you've just been affected for your own sake.
Okay.
A particular Yoruba saying, we say,
Femi, let me bring you to the conversation. I remember Governor Sheyi Makinde saying it, that, you see, the last time, Folarin was PDP, I was standing here, and SDP and all that. And today, they have crossed parties. You will be shocked, or you may end up getting shocked. These people who are fighting over these people, that the two of them may just be in the same party tomorrow. That's how it happens, right?
Well, yes. I mean, there's a saying that says that there is no permanent friend, no permanent foe in politics, only permanent interest.
Wow.
So as long as our interests align, we can, be, and we can find ourselves in any situation, or see a situation whereby we get to be in the same political space. But the fact is this: I think there needs to be more political orientation. I think illiteracy is one of the banes of our political system, because you look at most of these so-called followers, what is their level of education, what is their level of knowledge, how do they see things? I think they are almost like a herd of cows, where once the shepherd says this way, it doesn't matter if the way, the end of that way is the ditch. They just go there in droves. So I think political education needs to be top-notch. These followers, who are they? Guys, touts, agberos and all those things. Most of these guys that ferment all these troubles, they are from that that collection. So there needs to be some sort of education to these guys, for them to know that, hey, these guys, it's just temporary. Tomorrow you may find Teslim Folarin in PDP or Sheyi in APC. These guys don't have any sort of loyalty to any platform, only the platform that suits
will
them.
fetch them.
Obi was a PDP enthusiast a couple of months ago.
Exactly.
He was a vice presidential candidate in PDP in 2019, and now he's in Labour Party. Are you saying that suddenly he has changed, he has become a new man, and PDP is now? So it's just about interest, basically.
Peter Obi was in PDP until May.
Yeah, he took presidential primary form, and unfortunately was denied the ticket, and that made him leave.
Okay.
If he was given the ticket,
It was before the primary.
It was a few days before when the handwriting was already clear on the wall that. So if he was, let's say, given the mandate in PDP, believe you me, PDP to Obi would have been, how do I call it, the saint of all the political parties. And this obedience will have still, I don't know if obedience would have still sang the praises of PDP, but the fact is the principles do not change. It's only the platforms that do.
Oh, wow. You heard that, right? So you can watch us live on Facebook right away. Advise you to go there. See the setup, okay? Splash FM 105.5 Ibadan. That is the location on Facebook. Join the conversation there. We'd like to hear from you. Let's come home now. First Technical University, state-owned university, named after Seyi Makinde's predecessor at Jimobi. I read a bit of that story. Seyi Makinde, the governor of Oyo State, has renamed the state-owned First Technical University, Ibadan, after his predecessor, the late Biola Jimobi. Governor Makinde announced the change of the name of the university during a speech at the second convocation ceremony of the institution, held at the University Hall, First Technical University on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, Monday, Ibadan in Oyo State. Governor Makinde, who is the visitor to the university, also declared that his administration will put the governing council of the institution in place before the end of April. All right, so you heard that now. Maybe we'll have to wait till the State Assembly will do a bill in that respect. Don't forget that when the university was started, it was named Technical University Ibadan. The Oyo State House of Assembly, reworked the bill to name it First Technical University. Now the governor has renamed. Okay, he has renamed the renaming.
So Senator Abiola Jimobi First Technical University.
How did you receive the news?
You see, for me, it was surprising a little bit, because personally, if you've been looking at the disposition of the governor to the First Technical University, it seems like since it's a product of the past administration, it doesn't really want to have so much to do with it. I remember that last year that our own chairman here, Chief Adebayo Akonde, was honored with an honorary degree. The governor didn't even come around. Even as a visitor, he was the secretary to the state government who came around. And there are a lot of speculations, insinuations all over, saying I don't think that Governor Seyi Makinde is so much disposed to the technical university. But one thing that you cannot take away from Governor Seyi Makinde, and I will say it anywhere, that this is a man that understands what suits the populace. This is a man that understands how to appeal to several sentiments of the people.
Okay.
And you cannot take all of this away from him. Because looking at the fact that just some days or some weeks after winning the election landslide, defeating the APC, you then, decide to honor a major late chieftain of the APC, who some people still believe as the leader of the APC family, still in Oyo State. And again, I think, the process of renaming Governor Abiola Jimobi, renaming that university after Governor Abiola Jimobi, is again, a act to settle some dust.
Okay.
We'll not forget quickly what happened when late Governor Ajimobi died, and at some point in time, the governor didn't even visit them.
Yeah.
There was no state burial, and the deputy governor who went there at that time, the former deputy governor that was there, there were issues that he was denied entrance and the rest, the whole drama, and that Governor Seyi Makinde was even going together with the Oyo State government to lay claim to certain properties that were linked to the former governor of Oyo State.
Yes.
But I think this particular move, have settled certain dust. And let us not take it away from the late Governor Abiola Jimobi. The First Technical University is a great idea.
Okay.
Away from, the usual academic and educational system that you just have around, that you have an institution that is based on building skills.
Okay.
And when I went there last year, together with Tunde Olawubo and our chairman, when we went there, looking at the kind of teachings that is, that they boast of in that university, you say, okay, this is a very great one.
Okay.
And to say that the man whose idea, gave birth to that university is dead now. There's nothing wrong in saying, okay, we are going to rename him. So for me, I'm saying that is a very, very good, stroke from Governor Seyi Makinde. In a way, it unsettles the APC. Because because the person that you say, somebody that just won you landslide in an election, and then you go on and honor, the former leader of the party again, and some people will say, he has done well now. Forget it.
But is it a question of political party this time around? But you see, in sports or in football, they will say a club legend. You will put Ajimobi in that box of a legend, so to speak, within the political space, whether in the APC or whatever party, someone who was able to break the jinx. So you begin to ask questions about, was it basically to spite the APC, or was it just to honor someone who blazed the trail for an ultra-modern Oyo State?
I think it can be seen both ways, but I prefer to see it as maybe just trying to give honor to whom honor is due. I mean, we used to say Kusheleri was the first two-time governor of Oyo State, and it was on a few weeks before his passing, he was actually acting chairman, national chairman of the APC. And if you look at his imprint in Oyo State, is still very visible. I don't think at this point in time, Governor Seyi Makinde owes anybody anything. I think whatever he does now is just for the sake of posterity. And perhaps I will also say that he's not the first former governor that the current governor will name an institution after. So I think it's just continuing in his, his habit of giving honor to whom honor is due. And definitely late Senator Isiaka Ajimobi qualifies as one of those who should get such accolade.
You see, I want to do my poetry now. Before Ajimobi, there was no governor who did 2 terms in Oyo State. They said Kosheleri. So Seyi Makinde has also done 2 terms now. So you now say Otishele.
And maybe marking the anniversary of his Otishele again. You just pay some homage to the first person to cross that part.
All right. You see, the point for me, Michael, again, is that while we literally might want to look at the fact that the bright side of look at what the governor have done, whether it is suiting a particular narrative or not,
whether it's a political move or not.
But at some point in time, this was the same person who denied the family of a state burial, and then gave the same, gave an elaborate, burial process for another former governor. But then Governor Makinde has been, magnanimous in doing, you see his relation with former governor Omololu Olunloyo.
Yes.
You see his relation with Senator Rashidi Ladoja, naming a circular road after him. And then you see what he has also done for the late governor of Oyo State, Senator Abiola Ajimobi. So I'm saying that's a nice move from him. Basically.
All right, so let's talk sports now. And I'm going to, we are going to bring this man under the hammer now. So a lot of people. So this is the way I want to start this story. I think the story came late Saturday, or was it on Sunday? Graham Potter, Chelsea sacked head coach 1 day after Blues beaten by Aston Villa. Chelsea have sacked Graham Potter as their head coach. Potter has lasted just 7 months in the job at Stamford Bridge. Former Brighton defender Bruno Sato has been appointed as interim head coach. And, tomorrow Chelsea will be playing Liverpool. Whoa. Yeah.
Baptism of fire for the new coach.
But this is it. On Facebook and on Twitter, I saw a lot of people rejoicing that Graham Potter was sacked. Someone said, at last, what we have been asking for. Was it that bad?
Yes, it was actually. It was a torrid time for Chelsea fans. And as someone who maybe has passed through it before, for my club affiliation, I actually understand how it feels when it feels like game in, game out. you just expect failure. And then it's even worse when you cannot pinpoint what exactly is the problem. Who exactly in the squad is the problem.
After spending almost 300 million.
Exactly.
Right?
You spend so much money, you identify some positions that you feel should be strengthened, you strengthen those positions, and still you get the same result. I mean, Graham Potter in the Premier League has a record of 22 games managed, only 7 games won.
Wow.
That is poor. That is very, very poor. And there's no way to juxtapose that record with the quality of players he has at his disposal. These players are... They possess some sort of quality even before they joined Chelsea. For example, Raheem Sterling acquired from Manchester City.
Are you sure that Raheem Sterling has not been spent?
No, I want him to finish his thoughts.
Are you sure that Sterling has not finished?
Raheem Sterling possessed some sort of quality, and we still saw him at the World Cup in 2018. In 2018, even in 2022, he may not be the biggest English star, but the truth is he contributed his quota and is still a decent player on a good day at any time. We saw the inclusion of João Felix.
Yeah.
We saw the inclusion of a player like one of the best defenders in the Italian Serie A last season, Kalidou Koulibaly. We saw the inclusion of Wesley Fofana, a very highly rated young defender. So we have seen, Cucurella, for example, was bought for about 60 million. It was Manchester City and Chelsea, tussling for Cucurella. And at the end of the day, even Manchester City said, you know what, we cannot buy him for this amount. And Chelsea outbidded Manchester City on the player. So you discover that when you are being given all the tools, the truth is, Potter should have lost his job earlier. But what people kept saying is, look, he got this job after the summer transfer window had closed. So he had to work with the players that he met on ground.
But those
players necessarily may not fit into his style of play. But in January, he was given the players that he asked for, and he was given in abundance. So at that point, it was expected that there would be at least a change in fortune. And when that change in fortune did not happen, there had to be a serious change, especially because also the reality of things for Chelsea now is that they only have one route back to European football and back to the Champions League.
So they have to make the top 6 or top 8.
No, that's not the route anymore. That route is closed.
Are you sure?
Realistically,
you have 8 weeks. You still have 8 matches or so.
They are 11th on the table. That route is closed. The only route they have back to European football and Champions League is to win the Champions League. And they have in front of them the best Champions League team in the history of Champions League. So they had to do something.
You see, we always say that
You see, Michael,
I will come back to you, basically, because there's maybe you should just prepare for it. There's a question I want to ask. The question is it fair, really? Because you see another team not too far away from London, where the name of the coach is 10. And you begin to wonder that team is not even in the 10th position. But the point is that someone raised it in one of our groups last night and said, do you know that the last time Man U scored in the Premiership was February?
when they won the match.
So we will ask that question whether it's really fair. And then the other question you will answer. Is a two-pronged approach to your question. Is that why is it that Chelsea has not been patient with coaches? Tuchel won the Champions League for them. He won so many trophies. They threw him out. And now they are trying to bring the coach who was sacked in his place. Or maybe I'm just speculating. Who was sacked for Tuchel to go to Bayern. I think Chelsea is trying to court that coach. I want to come to Goke. You seem to disagree with Femi.
You see, it's not that I totally disagree with him, but I told Femi is my good friend. And I mentioned to him, I said, this guy cannot manage Chelsea. Let's forget about, this small team, mentality and thinking. I told him, seeing this guy's style of play, because when you see a coach that you really you cannot tell me that, like you rightly said, that these guys are so poor. No. You see the quality of these guys. I know that you might not find, the best of the world-class players among them. But you cannot play without a direct, what do I call it now, design or, a particular formation or way that you want to play with. And I told Femi that, you see, there are certain players that should be starting, and there are some players that they should not be starting. For example, I am always annoyed when I see Calvert, being the top 9. And then you have an Aubameyang that you just put on the bench, and you even excluded him away from the Champions League.
Is he not also spent?
What? You see, it is, whether you say it is not, is he not spent or what? This was the same guy who went to Barca and performed well.
He did?
He did. Look
half
at the
a
stats.
season.
Half a season. He did well for Barcelona. And coming back, you see, the problem that we have in Chelsea, and I don't know why I'm saying we, but then the problem,
we know.
The problem with Chelsea is that, one, you understand the period that I think the ownership now, Bollywood, really come to understand the fact that they should have given the last coach more time. It was a terrible decision to have sacked Tuchel. Like, it was a terrible decision. Because bringing in this guy now, nothing has really changed. Really. If you look at the number of money that you spend, 600 million euros transfer spray. And then you come back and this is what you can perform. Take us to number 11.
Okay, so you have exposed yourself eventually. All right, it's still talking points on Splash FM here in the city of Ibadan. So the question for Femi is this really fair, really? Just like Goke said just a few seconds ago, a coach who brought you the champions. I remember that Mourinho was just thrown away like that. They brought in, what was this guy's name? This guy's whose name is in abbreviation. I can't remember the guy now. This guy came, I think he won was it the one who won the Champions League? And they threw him out. They brought one interim coach. They threw him out. They brought, Andres Villas-Boas. They're just throwing coaches out just like that. It looks like the ownership structure, the ownership philosophy does not even agree that people can be given time. This guy had 7 months. You should have allowed him at least. It was January that he was able to impose himself on the transfer market. You should have allowed him to finish this season.
You can see it both ways. First, concerning Thomas Tuchel, I think football enthusiasts looked into the situation, and some of us discovered that majority, or should I say 80% of the reason why Thomas Tuchel was fired did not have much to do with the performance of Chelsea as at that time.
Okay.
The season was just starting, and I don't think the performance were that bad to earn him a sack letter.
Okay.
But you see, there was this thing that a new government had just taken over. The government of Todd Boehly, but the personnel at the club were the personnel of Roman Abramovich. And if you notice something that Todd Boehly did when they came on board was that they were sort of clearing house. The sporting director of the club, Marina Granovskaya, who was in charge of the transfer business of Chelsea, was laid off without any really good reason, because she was doing well. She was one of the top sporting directors in Europe as at that time. Peter Cech, who was the technical director, one of the main backroom staff of Chelsea, was also laid off without any reason. So it felt like, of a bunch that was working together, only Thomas Tuchel was left. And there were talks of the fact that Thomas Tuchel did not agree with some of the suggestions of Todd Boehly. There were frictions. For example, Todd Boehly was of the opinion that they should bring Ronaldo to the club.
Okay.
There were rumors that Thomas Tuchel blocked that, saying he didn't. So there were frictions, and I believe those frictions escalated, and Todd Boehly just wanted to complete his clear out.
Okay.
And he decided to let Todd Boehly go. Now, let Thomas Tuchel go. Now, that's talking about Thomas Tuchel. Now, talking about Graham Potter, I think it was a bad time for all and sundry. Now, if it was a club that had some sort of settlement, what I mean settlement, the ownership was settled.
Yeah.
Then there may not have been problems concerning this. But it was a club that was just trying to settle in, was just trying to get the fans to believe in their... Chelsea fans had gotten so used to the Roman Abramovich era, which was very successful.
Yeah, very successful.
It was hard for them to take their love away from Roman Abramovich and his ownership style and place it in Todd Boehly. So one of the things that will have helped them win the heart of the fans, which is very key for any football club that wants to do well, the fans must be on your side, was the results.
Okay. All right.
And they were not getting the results. So, and you can't fire a team of 25, 30 players. It had to be the manager.
So, okay, the conspiracy question we wanted to ask him is, who will win the Premiership?
Okay. Well, I think we've discussed this upstairs for a while now. And my personal opinion,
yes,
I think Arsenal will win the Premier League.
Okay.
And if I may give a few reasons.
They have Liverpool away. They have Chelsea away. They have Man City away.
Yep.
They have even West Ham away.
Now, I want to take you back. I'm not so much focusing on their opponents rather than Arsenal.
Okay.
Let's look at their performances in the last couple of weeks and months. The way they came back against Bournemouth.
Okay.
The way they came back against Aston Villa.
Yeah.
The way they sort of came back also against Manchester United to get the win. There's been an intensity to Arsenal's play recently that I don't feel many Premier League clubs right now can withstand.
Okay.
And it's shown over time. Honestly, I feel they have just 9 games to go now. And I can tell you the only dicey games out of those 9 games are the 3 games you have mentioned.
Okay.
Personally, I feel like Arsenal will still get the better of Chelsea. They can still get a draw from Liverpool. And at that point, even if they lose to Manchester City, if they win their other games, they will still be winners.
Okay, write it down, please. Say still talking points on Spark FM.
Sorry, Arsenal for the league.
All right, let's talk after now. You can call us now, 0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678, and 0706 949 3000 on Facebook. Chat with us, okay? You can watch us live. You like my blue, right? Okay, let's see whether you like it indeed. Abiodun Falaye here writes, Governor Shey Makinde is running an inclusive governance. We should salute him. Abiodun Falaye, once again, he writes here, GSM, although I'm from Ilesha, Osun State, I'm always jealous of GSM. I wish him the very best. He is great indeed. Chelsea deserves to sack Tuchel. To sack him, Tuchel would have been retained. Chelsea is a big team and should not be losing games like that. Wow. Talk to us. 0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678, and 0706 949 3000. Hello, good afternoon.
Thank you. My name is Philip.
Philip.
I'm calling from UI.
UI, Philip. Let's talk, Philip.
Yeah, I think the same mistake that Manchester United made by retaining OGS. I was the same mistake Chelsea made up to this point, that they are likely not to feature in Champions League next season, not even any of the European Cup, which is unfortunate. You see, when a coach is underperforming, a coach, Graham Potter is a mid-table coach. He has no class. Brighton is even better, even when he left. So it wasn't the magic of Graham Potter that was doing anything in Brighton as at that time. Look at Everton. Moyes was doing brilliantly in Everton, at least relatively brilliant. He came to Manchester United, he flopped. Went to West Ham, he was making all kind of things. So a lot of these coaches that we hype, they are just mid-table average coaches who have nothing to offer. Graham Potter cannot do that. Let him leave that place and go to any other big. He will fumble.
All right.
He's an average coach.
Philip, thank you very much for calling. Brendan Rodgers was also sacked, right, by Leicester. Well, so it's a season of sack. Let's see who's here. Someone is here. Let's attend to this caller. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Michael.
Welcome to Talking Points Today. What's the name, sir?
This Comrade Lukman.
Yes, sir, Comrade Lukman. Let's talk.
Okay. My own conclusion go to Governor Makinde first.
Okay, go ahead.
I give him kudos to the technical university, which is the name, is the former governor of Oslo. He has done a good job in that area. And again, I want to quickly advise the governor also to check the area of environmental sanitation and transportation system in your state. There are much has to be done.
All right.
Concerning that.
Thank you very much.
On the sport aspect,
Yes, sir.
the present Chelsea fans people, they have the same problem, both the fans, the management, and the rest. They don't have patience at all. And to achieve greatness and achievement has to do with patience That's the problem of Chelsea fans and the management.
All right. Thank you very much.
That's my contribution.
Thank you very much for calling. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
You're welcome to Talking Points on Splash FM. What's the name, please?
My name is Samuel from Olorun.
Samuel from Olon Shugo. Let's talk.
Concerning Mr. Governor, I call him the smart governor because he knows what to do at the right time, at the right moment. In naming the university in the name of the former governor, in my own opinion, I would say that mainly because despite the fact that they are from different parties, the party that channeled every two of them to the government is just an umbrella or just a channel. But the work of each of them, the work of former governor that he has done for the state, he makes him to be the person that deserves to be immortalized. You get me now. So in naming the university in the name of the former governor is a smart move by the government.
All right.
It's a smart move.
Okay.
And concerning Grand Porter, I will say that when you give a good to a world marketer, this is what you will get. But when you give a sheet to a best marketer, it will make use of that sheet and make money. You know, when Todd Bully employed Grand, I know he has shot himself on the toe because.
Why do you say that?
How can you buy a team of such and employ Grand Porter? A team where a team is better more expensive than the coach. So when you apply for a coach, that is what you get. Because for me, it is not only that causes something. Because how can you allow so much people to go? You allow the best. You allow one of the best, director in terms of transfer to go. You allow Peter Cech to go. Which is that they allow them to set in and make you the best thing out of the team you have gotten.
All right.
And such amount.
Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel, for calling. Would you like to be a part of the conversation? Please go ahead and talk to us. 0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678, and 0706 949 3000. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to Talking Points on Splash FM. It's Monday. What's the name?
This is Prince Bumi Adefusi.
Prince
Calling from Apata.
Prince Adefusi. Let's talk, Prince.
Yes, sir. See, concerning the name of technical, talk much on that because my dad's always doing it. Yeah, so bitter. Look,
Prince Adefusi,
yes.
I guess you'll have to call.
I need to go there.
I guess you have to call back. I think there's a problem with the network.
All right, sir.
Okay, I can hear you. Go ahead. Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
I said you don't think it is a bit bad.
No.
On the 30 kilometer road was named after Alaroje. So I consider the input.
Prince Adefusi, please, Prince Adefusi, you have to call back, please. You have to call back. There's a problem with the network there. It's been, would I say, epileptic network. Okay, so let's take a break. Commercial break on the program, Talking Points on Splash FM. Meanwhile, join the conversation on Facebook. Splash FM 105.5 is the location on Facebook. We're streaming live. On Twitter at Splash FM 1055. Hashtag Talking Points. We will be back in a moment.
This is what goodness tastes like. Golden caramel, creamy buttermint, and rich coffee. There's a Cadbury candy for every moment.
Introducing Cadbury Caramel Candy, Cadbury Coffee, and your favorite Cadbury Buttermint candies. Now there's lots more to share and enjoy.
Oh yeah, there's a Cadbury candy for every moment.
Do you you know that you have the right to quality broadcasting? The National Broadcasting Commission says any person, group of persons, or organization aggrieved by the content of a broadcast or the conduct of a broadcast station may lodge a complaint to the station and all right to the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, number 20, Ibrahim Taiwo Street, Asokoro, Abuja, or send a mail via info@nbc.gov.ng. Please ensure that your complaint includes name of the broadcast station, title of the program, date and time of broadcast, and essence of the complaint. Also, remember to include your name, address, telephone number, email, and append your signature. Note that your complaint must reach the NBC within 14 days of the queried broadcast. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting.
Here you go, dear.
Mom, you didn't add milk.
No need to. Taste it and see why.
Wow, but how?
Is it milky?
Very.
Is it creamy?
Yes.
That's Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy for you. It's so milky. I don't need to add more milk.
I love it, Mommy.
Give your kids the new Milo 3-in-1. Milky and creamy. It's truly milky. It contains calcium to help your champ win every day. Milo, energy to go further. Milo!
Tóyọ̀, ǹjẹ́ o ti gbọ́?
Pé kí ni o bá dérò?
Péṣẹ́ ìgbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ ti gbọ̀nà ọ̀nà àrà yọ.
Jọ̀ọ́ mi sí kí n rí gbọ́.
Jẹ́njà ẹ̀tàn àǹfààní àìlẹ́gbẹ́ ni Splash FM Media Academy gbé kalẹ̀ fún gbogbo olùgbé ìlú Ìbàdàn àti agbègbè rẹ̀. Ìlò tí ìgbọ́ láti di akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ oníròyìn tó perégedé ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú ìlànà ìgbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ òde òní yálà lórí rédíò tàbí ayélujára. Àwọn akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ olùkọ́ni tí wọ́n mọ̀ tì fún tẹ̀dọ̀ iṣẹ́ ìgbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́ wà níkàlẹ̀ láti tọ́ ọ sọ́nà tí ó tọ́ lórí onírúurú ẹ̀kọ́ bíi program development, journalism, digital media, production, news presentations. Wo mélòó ni mo fẹ́ kà? OPG ó pọ̀ gan-an.
Mo rí ọ̀nà.
Tóyọ̀, ibo ló ń sáré lọ?
Àròjọ́ Musolókun, mo ń lọ ṣe ìforúkọsílẹ̀ tèmi nìyẹn.
Tó bá rí bẹ́ẹ̀, lọ sí Splash FM Media Academy tí ó fẹ́ gbẹ́kẹ̀gbẹ́ pẹ̀lú Splash 105.5 FM ilé funfun báláwú fẹ́lẹ́lẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Ìbàdàn láti gba fọ́ọ̀mù tirẹ̀ tàbí kí o pe ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ yìí 07054393332. Splash FM Media Academy, ìdáàbòbò ìwà ọmọlúàbí nínú ètò ìgbóhùnsáfẹ́fẹ́.
Màámi, ṣé gbogbo ife Bọ́ǹvìtà ilẹ̀ fẹ́ pín?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ó ṣàmọ̀ pé àkókò yìí ní ṣe pẹ̀lú nǹkan pínpín.
Torí ẹ̀ ní Bọ́ǹvìtà ṣe ń pín 50 gíráàmù lórí ìdí alátùrọ̀ onígíráàmù 104 àbọ̀ kọ̀ọ̀kan. Àwọn ife wọ̀nyí á jẹ́ ti bọ̀dá Musa, alábàágbé wa, ìyàwó wọn, Uncle K.
Lákòókò yìí, ẹ jẹ́ gbádùn àfikún 50 gíráàmù lórí ìdí Bọ́ǹvìtà alátùrọ̀ 104 àbọ̀ gíráàmù tẹ́ bá rà. Ìyẹn túmọ̀ sí àfikún ìṣaralóore dídára ti Bọ́ǹvìtà. Bọ́ǹvìtà, ó kún fún èròǹgbà rere.
You did dull yourself this afternoon. You did dull yourself this afternoon. You did dull yourself this afternoon. No allow any dulling for your life, oh. Enjoy that your break moment with 5 Alive Poppy. Now correct enjoyment will go cool your body, come ginger and join. Make you use the enjoyment where they inside 5 Alive Poppy take hold your side. Each day available for different delicious flavors. 5 Alive Poppy, filled with life.
All right, it's still talking points on Splash FM here in the city of Ibadan. You'd like to talk to us, 0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678, and 0706 949 3000. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. This is Prince Bumi Adefusi.
Prince Adefusi, yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes, sir. I said concerning naming Technical University after Lisabila Ajimobi. It's a good one.
Yes.
And I'm not surprised because he has been doing the ministry in the state.
Yeah.
Because this man completed all the projects of Lisabila Ajimobi.
Yeah.
Akobo Juni is one of them. He's one of rather. So this man also resuscitated Ijayi Farm Asphalt Quarry of Babaladoja and also renamed 100 kilometers Ibadan Circular Road after Babaladoja.
Okay.
See, his style of leadership is something to write on about the price of Southwest. No doubt about it. Concerning Chelsea, see, Chelsea is like Indomie team. They want quick results. They are impatient, seriously.
Okay.
And when they give Potter a contract, I said, Chelsea is too bigger than Potter.
players in Chelsea are bigger than Potter.
Wow.
See, there's nothing Potter can do. He can't do more than his own capacity.
Okay.
So, even if you win 1 million trophies for Chelsea, they will still sack you.
Okay, thank you.
Sack you.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much for calling, sir. Femi, we call him Femaiti, by the way. Anthony Joshua is back in the news. It looked like we forgot about him.
Yeah, he went into boxing oblivion for a while, and that's what happens when you lose your belt. When you lose your belt in the boxing world gives you relevance. It gives you something that you have something that the other person wants, so you are hot commodity. But when you don't have that, you are almost not reckoned with. He lost all his belts, 3 belts on the same night, and he basically lost relevance. No top boxer wanted to box him because there was nothing at stake. Tyson Fury was very reluctant to fight him because there was really nothing he was bringing to the table. Instead, Tyson Fury preferred to fight Usyk, who had the belt. So he went into boxing oblivion for a while, and then he went also low in the ranking when it comes to the heavyweight boxing.
Yeah.
So he had to start fighting his way back. And this is just the first step against Jermaine Franklin, an American. I wouldn't say I was impressed by the performance because when you look at the caliber and the level that Anthony Joshua have been operating on before, one would have thought that an opponent like Jermaine Franklin should be a knockout. It shouldn't be something that you go all the 12 rounds. But I can understand the fact that he wanted to be cautious because I can remember a couple of years ago, he fought a certain minor whom everyone thought was just going to be a punching bag for him. His name is Andy Ruiz. And I think Anthony Joshua also came into that bout with that mentality of knocking Andy Ruiz out.
I don't beat him.
And at the end of the day, it was Andy Ruiz that got knocked out. It was not even a unanimous decision. It was a knockout for Andy Ruiz at that time. So I think that gave Anthony Joshua some sort of experience that never go into a bout hoping to knock your opponent out. If the opportunity comes, as the fight is going, you discover that an opportunity to knock out presents itself, fine, do it. So I think this is the first step in a very long ladder that Anthony Joshua will have to climb back to relevance. He may not have won it convincingly, but this win was very important. And now he can talk about fighting the next person on the ladder.
White or Fury?
No, it's not at the level where he can challenge for Fury yet. Okay. Because he still has nothing much, and his ranking point is still.
I think Fury is also reluctant to fight him. I think Fury is afraid of Joshua. Really,
I'm not sure about. I'm not sure about that. I just think that Fury is a drama king. I mean, they were this close to agreeing a deal for a fight, and then everything just went crashing down. I think Fury is a drama king, and if you are going to fight Fury, you have to be able to cope with this drama. I mean, Anthony Joshua is not the only fight that fell through recently. Alexander Usyk, what was supposed to be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world fight, also fell through because of all this theatrics and schemings of Tyson Fury. So I think it's the way of Fury. He's a hard bargainer, and you have to be very patient to agree to fight with him.
All right, one more call before we go, and the day would have been made. 0809 155 1055, 0805 699 8678, and 0706 949 3000. Okay, he's not used to pugilism. We would have brought him into the conversation. Are you a fighter? Okay, so by the way, if you'd like to catch Goki, doing something else, Thursday night is always a good night to listen to Goki. You would not know that Goki has a soft side.
Goki has a poem side. Have you ever heard one of his poems?
Don't worry, we're going to hire him very soon to be singing love songs for our women. All right, so we have to go, gentlemen. We have to go now. So let me start with Goki. So how do you wrap up for today? Let's give me your parting shot. I didn't ask you to comment on Portable.
Portable. Wow. Okay, let me just give a Portable comment then. Okay, I think it's just very important that all of us must understand the fact that nobody is above the law. And I think Nigerians, are naturally in their thoughts are always aggressive to security officers. I am not, I'm not taking them away from some of their acts that sometimes you sit down and ask yourself, is this really reasonable? But of course, you can see that, even with the social media, so many of us are so quick to go live and keep on shouting. But then when they bring the charges, you are calm. I saw Portable. It was Portable in the court dock. It was quiet. But thank God, I think they've given him, the court has granted him a bail now, and then he will continue, the case. But then you wouldn't want to have the criminal, issue process and the rest. And even if they say yes or no, or later grant the bail finally or acquit him of all of that, you still have a stain of appearing in court, being in prison, having pictures like that. So, but it is very important for us to know that nobody is above the law.
All right.
Some people say it. Apart from supernatural law, the next power is political power.
And can I just also wrap up on the Portable notes? I think the Yorubas have an adage that Tilo Yobatin Dunju Ofeyani. I think in recent times, Portable's drum was beginning to sound too loud. He was really getting a lot of attention and trends with his, should I say, Agberu and street, demeanor. And I think that got to him, or should I say, got into his head, and he felt like he could just. So I think he needed this humbling and this calming process to give him a check that, hey, you still exist in a society, and a society that has laws. You can not just do whatever you want in the name of celebrity. So I think it's a perfect way to calm him down and to, stem his potentials, or should I say his down.
Just make sure that he is humble.
It comes down a little bit.
Okay, so on that humbling note, we also want to say thanks to you for coming, guys.
Portable is my guy.
Okay, thank you.
He's one of the biggest fans of Portable.
All right, okay, thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure. Debut on Talking Points. I hope this is the first of many, but then it was a pleasure being here with you.
All right, so it's been very good having you. So Femi Akinyosho there and Goke. Arakuni Goke, thank you for coming.
It's nice to be here.
My name is Michael Olatunbosun, so I'd like to ask you to do everything within your power to make this nation better. Please do not dump refuse in the waterways. And when policemen stop you, please be cautious. They are also Nigerians and humans, particularly they are the people who are the purveyors of the law. Let's respect them. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Splash FM 105.5.
The message is brought to you by Cowbell Evaporated Milk.
The message, here's the message.
إن الحمد لله